Hey Wobble Gang, I do hope you are doing great. My name is Ollie. Hit that subscribe button if you love a Reddit story. Now let's get into our first story of the day. Our first story of the day comes from Honeybell Mama in the TrueOffMyChest subreddit, and it says, "My husband doesn't see how his work wife is trying to destroy our marriage. I, a 31-year-old female, am at my wit's end with my husband's 32-year-old male coworker, Sarah, a 30-year-old female, and his complete inability to see what's happening. I'm not usually one for Reddit, but I need to know if I'm going crazy here. Where do I even start?" 3 years ago, my husband Mark started working with Sarah. At first, I tried to be welcoming. I invited her to our barbecues, included her in group outings, and genuinely tried to be friendly. Big mistake. She spent the entire time making backhanded comments about everything from my career. "Oh, you're just a yoga instructor. How peaceful," to my cooking. I guess not everyone can master basic seasoning. The real problem is that Mark thinks she's just being funny. Last month, she literally threw away the anniversary mug I gave him because it clashed with the office aesthetic. When I got upset, Mark said I was being too sensitive and that Sarah just has high standards for office decor. It was a mug with our wedding photo on it, some greatest hits from Sarah. She scheduled a mandatory work dinner on our anniversary. She convinced Mark not to take a promotion because it would mean working with a different team. She posts daily photos of them together with hashtags like #workpowercouple and #workspouse. She tells everyone at their office that she takes better care of him than I do. She changed his coffee order and now tells everyone she trained him right. The worst part? My husband is completely blind to all of this. Yesterday, he actually told me about how Sarah said our new house, which we spent months searching for, was charming, in a starter home kind of way. He repeated this while laughing. I tried talking to him about it, but Sarah has convinced him I'm just insecure. She's managed to insert herself into every aspect of our lives. They text constantly, even on weekends. She knows his schedule better than I do. She rearranged his entire desk and office wardrobe because his style was too suburban husband. That's what he is. Last week, I suggested marriage counselling. He looked genuinely confused. He, of course, went and talked to Sarah about it. I found out from another coworker that she's been telling people that Mark and I are going through a rough patch and that she's just being a good friend by giving him someone to talk to. We weren't going through anything until she started this nonsense. The breaking point? I stopped by his office to surprise him with lunch. I know, but it was his birthday and Sarah was supposedly out sick. Guess who was there? Sarah. She'd miraculously recovered and bought him a cake that said, "To my work hubby," with a photo of them from the office holiday party. She saw me and said, "Oh, Amy, you came too. How nice. Mark, you didn't tell me your real wife was coming. I'm not crazy, right? This woman is trying to destroy my marriage while my husband stands there grinning like it's all some big joke. What do I do? Divorce seems extreme, but I'm running out of options here." In summary, my husband's work wife is actively trying to sabotage our marriage while he remains completely oblivious to her obvious manipulation. Edit to add, I should have stated that the promotion wasn't one that would increase his salary, but his title. It would give him more leadership experience. It still blows my mind that he turned it down just so he could stay on the same team as her. Edit to add, I should have told the mug story in its entirety. She accidentally broke the mug. I noticed it was gone when I was visiting him one day and I asked him about it. He said she accidentally knocked it over, and then later he repeated a joke she made about how it didn't fit the office aesthetic. I swear I've read a lot of crazy stories, but this one, it's like a living nightmare for Amy. And here's where it gets ridiculous. This Sarah character, she's not just walking the line, she's obliterating it. I mean, throwing away an anniversary mug and laughing it off as the office decor standards. Are we serious right now? This woman just doesn't know when to stop. On top of that, the husband dear, Mark, appears to be living on another planet. You'd think he'd pick up on even one eyebrow-raising action, but no, he's utterly oblivious. Like, what are we even doing here? How many red flags do you need, mate? A ceremonial parade? The biggest kicker? Sarah's convinced him that Amy is just being insecure. I mean, tell me how this makes sense. It's absurd. If you're listening to this, you felt that too. Tell me I'm crazy, but that was bloody embarrassing. Amy's dealing with a massive threat to her marriage, and Mark's in La La Land, eating Sarah's cake. Unreal. Drop your thoughts below because I need therapy after this. A Reddit user says, Sarah would not be able to sabotage your marriage if your husband weren't allowing it. A Reddit user says, you have a husband problem. Go to counselling and get professional help to communicate your concerns. Remind him that he's married to you, not Sarah, so her opinions shouldn't matter when it comes to your marriage. Good luck, but be prepared for the worst. A Reddit user says, your husband totally knows what is happening and is just ignoring you. It's time to get counseling or time to think about whether the marriage is worth it. I'm a guy, and this screams of him enjoying having two girls fawning over him. There is just no chance in hell he doesn't know the other girl is wanting him. Also, turning down the promotion is mental. Just 4 days later, the OP returns with an update, reflecting on the ongoing struggles with her husband's emotional affair and the impact it's having on their marriage. She says, "Hi, I am a 31 female and I posted a few days ago. I really didn't expect my post to blow up the way it did. I got so overwhelmed by all the comments that I haven't responded to any. I want to address everyone who says it's fake. I understand why you think that, but this is my personal hell. I only listen to Reddit stories on TikTok, but when this reached its boiling point, I just needed a place to talk. So I made an account and tried to yell into the void. Well, the void turned out to be less empty than I thought." Now, to why everyone is here, the update. Before I talked to my husband, a 32 male, I decided to do some investigation. I started with his phone and read all the messages between him and Sarah. She badmouthed me a few times. He did nothing to defend me, but didn't engage either. She was flirty. He wasn't really flirty back. They talked a lot, and he praised her frequently for her work ethic and intelligence. I didn't see anything about cheating. I checked his email. Nothing. I checked his work email. Nothing. I looked through our other devices. Nothing. I searched high and low for a second phone. Nothing. Everything I found was always dancing that line. Nothing was outright cheating, but here are the things I found that did hurt my feelings. He has lunch with her, and only her, every day in the office. They don't really like anyone else, so they'll criticize others and say, "Let's talk more at lunch. They're serving XYZ today." He'd say things like, "I'm sure if you were a wife, you would XYZ. He always kept it as a wife and not my wife, but it still upset me. She admitted to breaking the mug on purpose. He didn't get upset with her, just said, "Yeah, the photo gifs are kind of corny." I confronted him. I laid it all out, and while he wasn't upset, he did try to brush things off. He said I was being sensitive and overreacting. I told him if we didn't have a real conversation about this, I would file for divorce. That got his attention, and he sat down with me. He admitted that at first he found it odd that Sarah was trying so hard. He saw her trying hard with all the men in the office. The more attention she gave him, the more he enjoyed it, and the more he responded, the more attention she gave, until she just had her sights on him. He knew some of the other men were envious, and he liked that too. He admitted that eventually he just got too deep. He said he knew it was wrong but had gotten addicted to the attention and didn't want her to move on to another man. So he indulged her sometimes at my expense. He said it was just nice to have two women in the two major parts of his life, stating that he knew we'd rarely see one another. So what was the harm? He reiterated that he never ever physically cheated with her, but admitted it could be called an emotional affair. It was painful, I won't hide that. I mean really painful, like I wasn't enough. I told him from this point on, he needed to stop communicating with Sarah and asked to be transferred or switch jobs altogether. Now folks, I mean it when I tell you this. He lost his shit. He began raising his voice, saying things like he never cheated, it was all above board, and I couldn't control who he talked with at work. He called me a narcissist and a control freak. He told me I had no idea how hard it was, how much stress he had in the office, and that his personal relationship with Sarah helps a lot. Taking it away would just damage his mental health. It got so bad that I started crying. I couldn't take it anymore and decided to leave. I packed a small bag and called my mother-in-law. She's the only family I have here. I gave her a rundown of what was going on and she offered her home to me. I'm staying here and just hoping my husband calms down so we can revisit this. I want to work it out. I love him more than anything. I will try harder to answer comments on this post and I will definitely update if something new happens. This has been really therapeutic and makes me feel less alone. In summary, I confronted my husband about his work wife and he lost it on me. Now I'm staying with my mother-in-law. A Reddit user says, "Well, I kind of figured he wasn't that clueless. This is a full-blown emotional affair. From experience, things will only escalate once they are in bed together. Protect your peace, because he sure doesn't give a damn about your feelings. Stay strong." Oh my days, where do I even begin with this one? I can't even wrap my head around how someone could be so blind, so utterly oblivious to the havoc their so-called work wife is wreaking on their real, actual marriage. What am I even reading? And the worst part is this bloke, the husband, right? He's just completely playing the martyr here. "Oh, it helps my mental health," he says. Are you serious, mate? How about the mental health of your wife, the person who's meant to be your life partner? She's left to scramble for scraps of your attention while you're out here emotionally cozying up to your office buddy. And then, when confronted with the very real consequences of his actions, i.e. that his wife might leave him, boom, gone from his life. He throws a tantrum. Unbelievable. Oh my God, the part about her needing to control who he talks to. Mate, it's about respecting your damn marriage, not creating a workplace soap opera. Listeners, if you're as dumbfounded as I am, please drop your thoughts below because I clearly need to wrap my head around this madness. Honestly, if this woman survives this drama unscathed, forget a medal, she deserves a bloody standing ovation. Just a day after her emotional turmoil, the OP has come back with an update, sharing her thoughts and next steps as she navigates this challenging situation. She says, "Well, I'm back. First, I want to address some of the negative comments. To all the people saying they're Team Sarah and hoping Sarah and my husband get together, I even saw a nasty comment saying Sarah and my husband would be the office power couple. How can you sit here and say nothing's going on? You claim my husband didn't cheat, and I'm being crazy, yet in the same breath wish they would get together. You're contradicting yourself because deep down you know something romantic was developing." Now for the update. My husband came to my mother-in-law's house. She didn't call him. He knew I was there because I told him, and he said he wanted to talk. Some big things happened in such a short time. He wanted to explain. According to my husband, after I left, he started to reflect. He did call his mum, and they had a long talk. I didn't know any of this. She asked him if he was happy with me, and he said yes, but I made him extremely happy. I was a good wife and a great partner. This is kind of what it all sunk into him, that he was being juvenile for wanting attention from another woman. I did ask him why he always brushed things off and never took action before. He said he couldn't explain it. It just felt good. He assured me he never wanted to sleep with her and never advanced things that way. It was just nice having someone around who was fawning over him, like a fan. For those who said he didn't know what an emotional affair was and was just agreeing with me, you were right. He admitted he didn't really understand what an emotional affair was, but after looking it up, he agreed that's what it was, though unintentional. He said he didn't want to lose his friend, so he just went along with a lot of what she did. He admitted he was deep into a fog, but me leaving and this conversation with his mum was the one thing that brought him out of it. He said he didn't want to fight. My husband is big on giving me my space, so when I left, he didn't chase after me because he thought it would be best for us to just cool down and think about this, and hopefully come back and discuss it more rationally. He did reach out to Sarah. Though they didn't meet in person, they had a phone call. He told her they couldn't remain as close, that their out-of-office texts and calls needed to stop, that he would get a replacement mug she wasn't to touch, and that they needed to cut back on their lunches. He wanted to handle this before talking to me, to show he was serious. Sarah didn't take it well. She started berating me, saying I was forcing him to do this. My husband stopped her and said no. He was doing this because his marriage was important. He admitted letting things go too far, but clarified he had no romantic interest in her. He told her if she had feelings for him, she needed to distance herself immediately. Sarah ended up ruining their friendship herself. Though my husband was willing to maintain a more distant friendship, her comments about me and him, claiming she'd never want him, and that everything she did was because she knew we weren't meant to be together, and she was trying to open his eyes. He said he couldn't believe he'd never seen how vindictive and awful she was. She was almost venomous. It didn't end well. After handling that situation, he came to see me, wanting to ensure I knew he understood and was taking the proper steps. He said we could do whatever I needed. I know some of you will say I'm wrong, that divorce is the only option, because he had an emotional affair. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I'm not divorcing my husband. I told him we needed counselling for both of us. Yes, going through all his devices, emails and texts might have been extreme. He agreed it felt like a breach of privacy, but understood given the circumstances. I told him we both needed to work on things. As of right now, I guess you could say that we're separated. We're not staying in the same house. We're going to attend counselling. I don't want to just jump back into things with him. I don't want it to seem like it was okay to make me feel like I was the second option to ignore all those red flags and to brush me off. This has to be worked on. I'm leaving his mother's house and staying with a friend. I'm not sure if anyone's going to want an update after this. Sorry, it's so anticlimactic. Sorry, it's the typical, "Oh, you just got back together." I mean, it is, but it isn't. I love my husband. I know he loves me. I don't think everything is an end-all, be-all. Yes, it's a terrible situation. Yes, he did a terrible thing, but I want my marriage to last, so we're giving it another go. I genuinely hope this is my last update, but if it's not, you all will know. Thank you for all the messages and all the support. Everything, it really has been a huge help. A Reddit user says, "Glad to hear that the fog is lifting. I hope he sticks to his word and distances himself from Sarah." I would even involve human resources to let them know what is going on in case she gets vindictive and tries to cause trouble at work. I'm happy to hear that you're proceeding cautiously. I hope everything goes well for you in the end. A Reddit user comments, "Hey, I just saw this on TikTok. I came here to really give my 2 cents. You honestly need to stand your ground on this, and he needs to transfer departments or leave his job altogether. The fact that he wants to keep a distant friendship with her should not be considered a win. This man called you a narcissist because he wanted to keep his work wife with him, and he is being emotionally abusive. You have told him multiple times that you need proper boundaries with this woman, and then he dismisses and hand-waves you. Your husband hates you. The fact that it took his mother to finally see your side shows that. He does not respect you, and he does not respect your feelings. Please don't make a rash decision to stay in this marriage, but if you choose divorce, I would look into other aspects. Does he respect your time, your care, your attention? Does he want to achieve milestones with you, and only you? Does he set aside time for you? Because your marriage sounds exhausting. A Reddit user says, "Oh, original poster, I'm so glad he got his act together. I'm so happy he didn't go the easier route." Sarah, LOL, I feel like you handled this like a queen. I'm so proud you stood up for yourself and your marriage. I'm so happy he finally figured out what was happening. I also hope that he stays firm. It's easy to say what he said, but when he comes in contact with her, that's really the test. He needs to transfer quickly away from her. He needs to go to human resources and get ahead of this because first, she is manipulative, and second, everyone in that office knows he was having an affair with her. Whether it was emotional or physical, they won't care. It looked like a full-blown affair to everyone. He needs to protect himself and his job since he was not thinking about that when he was going around with her. I'm glad you did not move right back in and are expecting him to do the work. He should. He broke it, and it's his job to fix it by all means necessary. His whole cutting back from contact is not going to do it. In reconciliation, the wayward partner has to cut all ties to the affair partner. If he is still in close contact with her at work, your marriage will not work. Period. I'm sorry, but him having any type of relationship with the affair partner is not going to work. With any type of affair, the close contact working together is how it got out of hand to begin with, and they can easily fall back into that pattern. Love that this one had a happier ending. Please continue to watch your back. He is in the beginning stages of understanding what he did, but not enough to completely understand the damage. Hopefully, counseling for you both will correct that understanding. Good luck, and I really do need to know how it turns out. Hugs, original poster. Good luck, and update me. Oh my days, where do I even start with this? Here's where I lost it, folks. I mean, I've heard of the so-called work wife, but this is just taking it to another level, one that reeks of disrespect and chaos. So, your husband now realizes that his fan club affair with his so-called work wife was pretty much toxic and needed to end. And it took this massive emotional rollercoaster, not to mention your mum-in-law stepping in with a reality check, for him to see the light. I mean, come on, was it going to take a billboard for him to realize this woman was no friend? And then, she has the audacity to berate you? Are you kidding me? That's absolutely outrageous. At this point, I'm just shaking my head. Sarah's venomous tirade was the cherry on this absurd cake, revealing her true colours, and finally your husband sees that he's been played like a fiddle. But really, it should never have come to this. But you know what? It's admirable that you're choosing to work through this mess. It takes courage to tackle the hard stuff in a marriage. Just be sure you both actually do the work, rebuild that trust, and communicate. Relationships are complex, but they're worth fighting for. Keep us posted, all right? We're rooting for clarity and healing. If OP survives this, she deserves a medal. This is the last story coming from NoFuel946 in the Am I the Asshole subreddit, and it says, "Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend because of his mum's behaviour?" Hello, I, a 21-year-old female, have been dating a 23-year-old male for a year now. For context, and this will be important, my boyfriend is Albanian. I'm also from the Balkans, but not Albanian. My boyfriend and I both have similar cultures and come from Muslim families. My family is religious, but not overly so, and is very passionate about our culture. We live in the Nordics, and I've grown up here, so my parents have always let me adhere to the culture here instead of the one back home. They let me study what I want, allowing me to go out as much as I want. Basically, they do not limit me. My parents celebrate Eid and other Muslim holidays, but don't strictly follow the Quran, Islam's religious scripture, but still read and respect it. My boyfriend's family is different. They're very religious and pray, expect a woman to cook and clean and nothing else, since that's how they think women are supposed to be. Not referring to religion, by the way. This part is about culture. When I first started dating my boyfriend, I was very clear that I live alone, am studying and working, and go out with my friends a lot. He said he was fine with that and told me about his family, but assured me that he is not the same way as they are and that he's interested in me, and nothing will get in the way of that. He also said that his family would have no problem with me not being Albanian. We started dating a little while after we first met. I met his mum 6 months into the relationship and the rest of his family. They were very sweet in the beginning, and his mum liked me a lot. I don't know how to cook Balkan meals besides the basics, and I was happy to learn from her. She even taught me how to make traditional dishes that take a lot of time and practice. Everything was fine and perfect until for my boyfriend's birthday we celebrated with his entire friends and family, around 50 people, and I wore a long-sleeve knitted dress down to my knees and black boots. Mind you, other women there had similar outfits. After the party, his mum took him aside and, I quote, said, "Tell original poster to find a cardigan from your sister's drawer because she looks like a curver and I don't want people talking." Translation, whore. Sounds worse in our language. My boyfriend took me aside after that and told me. And I was shocked because I've never even had my own father tell me something like that. But I obliged because I didn't want to make a scene in front of people. The second strike was when I dyed my hair black. Not black, but with a blue tint because previously I had a reddish tint and wanted to even it out. When his mother saw the picture I posted on Facebook, she texted him and asked him to convince me to go to the salon next week and to pay for me because she just doesn't like it. This time I said no. I asked him, "Why are you telling me all of this instead of defending me?" He says he can't do much because it's his mother's opinion and he can't go against her word. We had a long talk and he said this wouldn't happen again and that he'd talk to his mum because he's the one who's dating me and won't let her talk about me like this anymore. The third strike happened when she asked me if I wanted to go to the mosque with her. I politely told her I'm not connected to religion like that, but I'd like to learn. We went, and she taught me how to pray, or tried to. When we both went home after that, she called me and said she had a fun time, etc., and that she'd prefer if I went with her every week and learned how to pray properly so we could do it often. I told her I could go with her once in a while, but making it a full-time thing isn't of interest to me. I believe in God, but I'm not connected to Islam so deeply because I've never been exposed to it to such an extent. For context, she knows this. My boyfriend told me she'd called him again to complain and get him to start taking me instead or get me to warm up to it. I told my boyfriend no because I think it's wrong for me to go and pretend and force myself when I can't give it my all. He said he'd talk to her, and later he told me he did. The fourth strike was when she told me over tea that she can't wait for me and him to have children and settle down. I told her it wouldn't be for a while because I graduate from my bachelor's in a year and want to do my master's as well. My boyfriend was there too alongside his brother, and none of them said a word. I looked to my boyfriend and he just said, "Yeah, you told me that too." Mind you, we've discussed this multiple times and he's told me that his mum didn't mind us waiting on kids, which meant he didn't tell her and was trying to make it seem like I also was on board with having kids and getting married immediately. The fifth and final strike? I went out to celebrate my friend's birthday and we went to a restaurant. I had a cider. I posted the food to my Instagram story and you could see my cider bottle. 15 minutes later, my boyfriend calls me frantic and says he's picking me up because something happened. Obviously, I excuse myself because he sounds panicked. I seriously thought someone had passed away or gone to the hospital. He doesn't say a word and drives to his parents' house where his entire family is sitting there like we're politicians about to have a meeting. They sit me down and his mother tells me that I need to get my act together because my boyfriend won't be with someone like me who prioritizes living life and wasting away instead of getting married and staying at home. My boyfriend was silent the entire time and didn't look at me. I got up and left. They were all calling for me and I didn't even put on my boots properly or my jacket. Just got out, called an Uber and left. I texted my boyfriend in the Uber and told him it was over because he's well aware of how I am, what my goals in life are, and the way I live it. I told him his mother isn't the boss of me and I'm dating him and not her, and that I won't sit here and have her go all Stalin on me. I blocked him. I feel guilty because I love him, but at the same time, I can't be with someone who's either lied to their mother about my lifestyle or let her willingly say and do all those things like I'm a first grader being scolded by my teacher. I'm conflicted because he's even contacting my friends, asking them to tell me to unblock him. His mum even texted me and told me that I should do what's best for me and her son. In all my anger, I told her to leave me alone in a not-so-nice way. Got called a curver again, but I don't really care, so am I the a-hole? Sweetmint12 says, NTA, holy hell. May this type of mother-in-law never find anyone reading this. Oh my goodness, can you even believe the nerve of some people? But you know what? Let's just stop here because, I don't even know anymore. Look, if you're still watching after all of that emotional chaos, you're a real trooper. And yeah, this is the kind of wild stuff we deal with. It's like a soap opera, but less predictable and more, mentally taxing. We've reached the end of this rollercoaster ride, but the comment section is open, friends. Please go on, throw your thoughts down there, because I think we all need a bit of group therapy after this one. If you're as gobsmacked as I am, let me know what you think down below. Do not let me be the only one dealing with the madness. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure to check out our other videos where we continue to dive into the crazy, relentless world of Reddit stories. Like, subscribe, stay up to date, and we'll keep this emotional rollercoaster going together. Until next time, keep your sanity somewhat intact.